Human nectar, one of the most prized delicacies in alien gastronomy. Dr. Alex Martinez had always prided himself on being a rational scientist, but standing in the pristine white laboratory of Galactic Food Research Institute on Kepler Station, he felt utterly bewildered. The alien researchers around him moved with an almost reverent precision as they handled what appeared to be ordinary human saliva samples. The lead researcher, a tall crystalline being named Vel, approached with what could only be described as excitement radiating from her translucent form. "Dr. Martinez, your species has provided us with the most extraordinary discovery in culinary history," Vel announced, her voice resonating like wind chimes in a gentle breeze. "What you call saliva we have termed the golden nectar. It possesses properties that have revolutionized our understanding of flavor enhancement and nutritional supplementation." Alex stared at the sample containers lined up on the laboratory bench, each one containing what he considered to be simple human spit. 3 months ago, he had been conducting routine biological surveys on Earth when the Galactic Council had made first contact. Within weeks, human saliva had become the subject of intense scientific scrutiny across dozens of worlds. The revelation that this everyday human bodily fluid was considered a delicacy of unprecedented value had sent shockwaves through both human and alien communities. "I still don't understand how this is possible," Alex admitted, watching as Vel carefully pipetted a microscopic amount of saliva into a sophisticated analyzer. "On Earth, we produce this naturally every day. Most humans generate between 1 and 2 liters of saliva daily without even thinking about it." Vel's crystalline features seemed to shimmer with what Alex had learned to recognize as amazement. That quantity would be worth approximately 50 million galactic credits on the open market. She explained, "The enzymatic composition of human saliva contains compounds that are not only rare but impossible to synthesize artificially. The alpha amylase alone triggers flavor cascades in most alien digestive systems that create sensations we have never experienced before." The implications were staggering. Earth had suddenly become the center of galactic attention, not for its technology or military might, but for what humans had always considered waste. Alex remembered the chaos of the first few weeks after contact, when alien diplomats had arrived with elaborate proposals for saliva harvesting rights. The United Nations had been forced to establish emergency protocols for what they had dubbed the nectar trade. "Show me the analysis results," Alex requested, moving closer to the display screen. The data that appeared made his head spin. Complex molecular structures danced across the screen, showing protein chains and enzyme interactions that seemed almost impossibly intricate. These readings suggest that human saliva contains over 300 distinct compounds that have never been documented in any other known species. "Precisely." Vel confirmed, her excitement palpable. "But it is not merely the individual compounds that make human nectar so valuable. It is the way they interact with alien digestive systems. When consumed properly diluted, of course, human saliva creates what we call the perfect harmony. Every taste bud in an alien mouth experiences simultaneous stimulation across all flavor spectrums." Alex watched in fascination as Vel demonstrated the preparation process. Using specialized equipment, she diluted a single drop of human saliva with exactly 47.3 milliliters of purified water from the Andromeda system. The resulting mixture glowed with a faint golden luminescence that seemed to pulse with its own internal rhythm. This single dose would provide a complete sensory experience, lasting approximately 6 hours for most species, she explained. The economic ramifications were already being felt across the galaxy. Traditional food industries on hundreds of worlds had been disrupted overnight as demand for human nectar skyrocketed. Restaurants that could afford even microscopic amounts of the precious fluid were booked solid for years in advance. Black market dealers attempted to create synthetic versions, but none could replicate the complex interaction patterns that made genuine human saliva so extraordinary. "What about the humans who are providing these samples?" Alex asked. "Are they being compensated fairly for something that their bodies produce naturally?" Vel's expression became more serious. "The Galactic Council has established strict guidelines for ethical harvesting. Each human donor receives standard compensation of 1,000 credits per milliliter, though market prices continue to climb. We have also implemented rigorous health monitoring to ensure that no human is harmed by excessive collection." Alex nodded, but remained concerned about the long-term implications. On Earth news reports showed people quitting their jobs to become full-time saliva donors. Entire industries were being built around optimizing human saliva production through diet and lifestyle modifications. Medical researchers were studying ways to safely increase saliva production without damaging donor health. "There's something else you should know," Vel continued, lowering her voice to a whisper. "Preliminary testing suggests that human saliva from different individuals produces distinct flavor profiles. Some samples create euphoric responses, while others trigger intense creativity or enhanced memory formation. We believe that human emotions and experiences somehow influence the molecular composition of the nectar." This revelation opened entirely new possibilities and concerns. If human emotions could alter the properties of saliva, then the implications for galactic society were profound. Alex realized that humanity had stumbled into a position of unprecedented influence in the galaxy, not through conquest or technological superiority, but through the simple biological function of producing saliva. The research laboratory hummed with activity as scientists from dozens of species worked to understand the mechanisms behind human nectar's extraordinary properties. Each new discovery seemed to reveal additional layers of complexity that challenged everything the galactic scientific community thought they knew about biology and consciousness. As Alex prepared to return to Earth, he carried with him the weight of knowledge that would reshape human civilization. The age of humanity as a galactic backwater species was ending. The age of humans as the galaxy's most precious resource had begun. Whether this transformation would bring prosperity or exploitation remained to be seen, but one thing was certain: the universe would never look at humanity the same way again. The golden nectar that flowed naturally from human mouths had become the key to humanity's future among the stars. In laboratories across the galaxy, scientists continued their research driven by the knowledge that they were studying not just a biological fluid, but the essence of what made humans unique in cosmos. The simple act of swallowing had become humanity's greatest gift to the galaxy. Dr. Alex Martinez stepped onto the transport vessel that would carry him back to Earth, knowing that he was returning to a world that would soon be transformed beyond recognition. The human nectar trade was just beginning, and its effects would ripple across the galaxy for generations to come. As he settled into his seat for the journey home, he couldn't help but smile at the irony that humanity's greatest contribution to galactic civilization was something they had been producing and swallowing without thought for their entire evolutionary history. The stars outside the viewport seemed to gleam with new possibilities as the transport vessel engaged its engines and began the journey back to the small blue planet that had suddenly become the most important world in the galaxy. Earth's children were about to learn that their most ordinary bodily function was extraordinarily valuable, and that knowledge would change everything about how humans saw themselves and their place in the universe. Behind them, the research continued as alien scientists worked tirelessly to unlock the secrets of human nectar, driven by the knowledge that they were studying something that could reshape the very foundations of galactic society. The golden fluid that humans produced naturally every day had become the bridge between species and the key to understanding consciousness itself. In the depths of space, the news was spreading from world to world, carried by traders and diplomats who spoke in hushed tones about the miraculous properties of human nectar. Civilizations that had existed for millennia were being forced to reconsider their understanding of biology and consciousness. The humans had arrived not as conquerors or supplicants, but as unwitting providers of the galaxy's most precious resource. The transport vessel carrying Alex back to Earth disappeared into the cosmic distance, leaving behind a galaxy forever changed by the discovery that the most ordinary human bodily function was the most extraordinary gift the universe had ever known. The age of human nectar had begun, and with it, a new chapter in the story of galactic civilization. As the research station continued its work, scientists from across the galaxy gathered to study the samples that would reshape their understanding of life itself. The golden nectar flowed through their sophisticated instruments, revealing secrets that had been hidden in plain sight for as long as humans had existed. Each discovery brought new questions and new possibilities for the future of galactic society. The universe had found its most precious treasure in the most unlikely place, and nothing would ever be the same again. Human nectar had become the thread that would weave together the tapestry of galactic civilization, binding species together through the simple act of sharing in the extraordinary gift that flowed naturally from human mouths. Dr. Alex Martinez carried with him the knowledge that would transform not just Earth, but the entire galaxy as the transport vessel continued its journey through the star-filled void toward a future where humans would be valued not for their technology or their weapons, but for the golden nectar that they produced as naturally as breathing. The cosmos had discovered its most precious delicacy, and the age of human nectar had begun.